You're listening to a Dell Studios production, yes?
I know I'm good, but not all jobs are easy, yes? I've had my fair share of difficult jobs involving stray Vok robots, marauding Silurians, extraction of prisoners from alternate timelines, and even my future selves. In fact, some jobs are complicated on many levels, especially when they involve Time Lords, shapeshifters, chases across galaxies, and bounties on intergalactic war criminals. Business has been booming since that business with Abslom Daak. Jobs were flying in, as was the money. I was living quite comfortably, yes? I'd settled into a groove of easy scores, low risk, high reward contracts, and was living easily. But then a different sort of job came in. One morning a package arrived to the apartment that I had been renting out on Kandoka, my new base of operations. I don't have much need for sleep, and work keeps me out of the house a lot, so I was mainly using it for post. The package contained a dial, about the size of a CD, heavy and slightly domed. On it was an inscription in a circular language that I recognized, but couldn't place. Odd, yes? After a few minutes of toying with it, a catch released, causing the dial to click open in a flash of golden light, transporting me. See, anyone who knows me would know that I don't like being told where to go, even less so being forcibly transported. I'd arrived in a large, dark room, and was under a spotlight in the middle of it. In front of me was a raised podium. A person in black and white robes stood behind me. Suddenly, everything made sense. Time Lords.
Welcome, Death's Head, to the Celestial Intervention Agency. I'm Commander Eliysus. I'll be your contact.
Listen, Eliysus, I don't like being forcibly transported, yes? What's wrong with sending a postcard with your address on it?
Well, that's just the way we work here. Death's Head, we've summoned you here for a mission.
What sort of mission?
Over the last few years, there has been innumerable war crimes and other offenses committed in and around the universe by one being, one so disarmingly cute and charming, but really entirely malicious and horrible, who has thus far evaded our capture. Their actions are beginning to threaten the web of time, so we want them brought in.
Sounds like a right barrel of laughs, yes? Who?
Beep the Meep.
Beep the Meep? You must be joking, right? I've heard of the Meeps. They were a peaceful but quite advanced race, until some form of radiation mutated them, and they suddenly became hungry for conquest. They were like a brutal army of angry chinchillas, yes? Intergalactic law enforcement kept them under control, barring one. The Most High, the Meep leader, Beep. Beep the Meep had become a sort of intergalactic crime lord, and there was very little anyone could do about it.
I don't joke. The Meep's appearance appears to work to its advantage, and we've sent 7 Time Lord agents thus far, but to no avail.
But why me?
You've got a unique skill set that might just give you the edge. Plus, you came highly recommended.
By who? Wait a minute, not the Doctor.
Indeed, the Doctor. He mentioned you last time he was here.
He's a frequent flyer, yes?
Yes, but don't tell him that. The mission is yours, if you want it. If not, we'll simply wipe your memory and put you back where you came from.
Sounds easy enough, but I don't do these things for free.
We are willing to break protocol just this once, and will provide you with any compensation that you request, within reason. You will receive payment upon completion of the contract. Do we have a deal?
Working for the Time Lord could get me into all kinds of trouble, but the idea of any form of compensation? Well, that was worth any job, yes. I'll take it.
Excellent. You'll be sent on your way momentarily, and all information will be sent directly to your databanks via psychic link.
Wait, sent on my... way. Another flash of golden light and I was standing back in my apartment. Damn Time Lords. Think they can do anything to anyone. Over the next few days, I spent many hours doing research on Meep before I found a lead. It seemed to me, anyway, that a good portion of the target's recent criminal activity had been based on New Earth. New Earth has always been the crown jewel of the Galactic Federation. Thus, Galactopol is often quick to cover up any mishaps. They're good, but I'm better. I managed to dig up a few files related to weapons smuggling, and finally made contact on New Earth with somebody who I thought could lead me to my target. The only issue was that through correspondence they remained anonymous. Galactopol and I aren't exactly on good terms, so if this was one of their agents, I was really up the creek, yes? It was just a risk I was going to have to take. Soon enough, I was rubbing shoulders with the rich and the poor on the streets of New York, the chosen meet-up point. Luckily, New York is one of those places where nobody sticks out like a sore thumb, so it's easy to blend in, yes? I was meeting the target at a picnic bench in Central Park for what they refer to as afternoon tea. Their request, not mine. But whatever I was expecting, what greeted me there was not it. Sat at the table, which was adorned with a large spread of sandwiches and cake, was two people. One of them was a well-dressed but rather skittish Devonian. I hate civilians. They're a species with cowardice in their DNA and are nothing but a nuisance. Sat opposite him was a penguin, and he was wearing a fedora.
Who the hell is this?
I should be asking you the same question.
Gentlemen, please.
And that's another question. Who the hell are you?
Hamble Denfor at your service. I believe you're here for some information. Please, sit.
I'm here for information. I don't know what the bird's here for.
Hey, that's Frobisher to you, pal. I'll have you know that Mr. Denfor is my informant. If you knew who my employers are, you'd drop whatever the hell you think you're doing and stay out of my way.
It was only then that I realized something. I had a suspicion that this meeting was no mere coincidence. You're working for the CIA, aren't you?
How the hell did you... You gotta be kidding me.
Clearly somebody doesn't trust us to work alone. It seems to me that we're going to have to work together on this, but I'd like to inform you that it's not by choice, yes?
Then we understand one another. Now sit.
Rather reluctantly, I took my seat.
So, Mr. Denfor, what do you got?
Well, I have a cousin who works for Miss Dogbolter and ended up doing business with another organization who he later realized had been working for the Meep. They got talking, and whilst he's not supposed to talk shop, as they say, with members of the public, he can get a little loose-lipped whilst drinking draconian whiskey.
Oh, spit it out, Denfor.
I'm getting there. There's no need to be rude. He told me that the Meep is planning a big job on another world. Something's being built, a device powerful enough to wipe planets out of existence and become the rule of the universe.
Which planet is he starting on?
Personally, we on Tivoli would be quite happy to bow down to a Meep overlord. I really should notify a member of government. Maybe they can send a dignitary to...
Denfor, which planet?
So far as I'm aware, San Helios.
Ugh, not San Helios. San Helios was another metropolis planet. However, to use food as a comparison, if New Earth was the most delicious-looking meal around, San Helios was the leftover bolognese that had been sitting at the back of the fridge for a year. A trade planet, primarily, it was also the home to the largest underground criminal population of the galaxy. Honestly, looking back on it, I'm surprised we didn't start there in the first place.
Any other information you can give?
No, that's all, I'm afraid.
Then it's time for us to leave. You've been helpful, Denfor.
You're quite welcome, gentlemen. Good day.
The bird and I left Denfor to eat and began to wander back through the park.
What now?
Well, obviously we have to go to San Helios. So we went. The planet was busy, lots of people to bump into, and none of them that you'd want to. On arrival, we decided to split up and see what we could find out about the Meep's local operations and meet back in an hour. It means we could cover more ground quicker and get out of this place quickly as possible. The search on my end was fruitless. Trouble kept finding me, and I ended up having to worm my way out of the purchase of a very large shipment of chocolate-covered Brazil nuts, but that's a story for another day, yes? When we reconvened, Frobisher's luck had been quite the opposite.
So I found where the show's running from. There's an industrial complex on the other side of town, and a few people made insinuations, shall we say. People seem to be scared of the place.
Excellent. This will be a quick capture.
Hey, not so fast, buddy. It ain't gonna be that easy. We're talking about one of the biggest criminals on the planet. We're not just gonna be able to walk in and cuff the guy.
So, what do you suggest?
Let's take a leaf out of the detective's book. I say we have a stakeout.
We waited for night to fall and then positioned ourselves on top of a warehouse, opposite where Frobisher knew the Meep's space to be. It was hardly glamorous, but when did comfort ever become important at work?
So, how do you get mixed up in all this?
Recommended by the doctor,
You know the doc?
unfortunately.
I traveled with him for a while. I reckon that's got something to do with why they brought me in.
You were a companion.
Yeah, me, the doc, were great pals. So the best days of my life started in that rickety blue box.
Which doctor's yours?
Curly top and his Technicolor Dreamcoat. You?
I've met a few of them, but it's usually the Scottish one with a stupid umbrella. Although I have been seeing a lot of the younger one recently.
Which younger one? There's a few now. You gotta be specific.
Blonde hair, green raincoat, doesn't look old enough to get served anywhere.
The doc? I don't recognize that one.
I didn't expect you to. That one's a complicated incarnation.
Huh. Hey, look who it is.
Down below, two figures emerged from the warehouse and made their way towards a vehicle. One was a humanoid, dressed head to toe in black. The other, a small rodent-like creature. No prizes for guessing who, yes?
And remember, when I return, security must be paramount. The terranium will be highly unstable, and we'll have to act fast.
Yes, boss.
I'll be back in half an hour. Make sure that the technicians are here when I arrive.
Yes, boss.
Did it say Terranium? Isn't that what they use to power time destructors?
That's why Eliysus was so worried. If the Meep can create a time destructor, imagine the havoc it can wreak.
We gotta get in there. And I think I know how. Hey, we got an emergency out here. Hey!
Hell?
Evening.
Come on, let's move him behind the crates.
Whilst I admit that we can now get in easier, I fail to see why that was necessary. Before my eyes, the being I'd known as a penguin had suddenly morphed into the man we'd just knocked out. This day was getting weird, even by my standards, yes.
You were saying?
You can shapeshift.
Yes. Now come on. What are we doing standing out here for? We've only got a few minutes before the beat gets back. Let's go do some investigating.
The warehouse was enormous. It was like a city made of crates, labyrinthified in nature. Around every corner was a surprise, from ex-Shadow Proclamation weaponry to sets from an old children's TV show. It was strange. I expected the Meep to have forces in their hundreds, but the place was a ghost town. Eventually, we found our way to the heart of the maze, a workshop, and sat right in the middle of it where our worst fears confirmed. The time was struck to... You were right.
Is it bad when I really wish when I wasn't?
We've got to bring the Meep in tonight, or else the universe as we know it may be under threat. Speak of the devil, you're out.
Hide yourself. I'll get it.
It had all been leading to this. The Meep was within my grasp, and yet something felt off. Call it an intuition, yes? I tucked myself away behind a door and waited. It wouldn't take long for my new associate to deliver the target right into my hand.
And the technical team has arrived?
Yes, boss. Though, it's just the one big guy android. And he's a bit odd.
Seeing as Frobisher was trying to cover our tracks, I'd forgive him for that little offense, yes. I stepped out of the shadows and into the light. The Meep was small, no bigger than a small doll. Its greyish-blue fur was well kept, and it looked almost reminiscent of a cutesy animal sidekick from an old cartoon. But the look in its eyes suggested pure malice. In its clutches was a case, which I assumed contained the terranium. It examined me suspiciously for a moment, and then, rather oddly, relaxed. At your service, sir.
Do I know you from somewhere? You look awfully familiar.
Derek is a well-known technician in the specialist weapons circle, boss. You probably met him in passing before.
Derek? That was a new one. I can assure you, my work is swift and efficient. I've had no complaints yet, yes.
Our time is short, Derek. How quickly can you install the element?
Quicker than you think. I'm just that good. I'm going to need the element.
Oh, of course.
In a moment of perfect timing, or unfortunate depending on your perspective, the Meep's real henchman shot into the room.
Hey! Boss, don't hand it over. We got an imposter on our hands.
The Meep looked at us and its face suddenly turned from a strange expression of gratitude into blind fury. Just our luck.
Hang on. I know where I recognize you from. You're Death's Head, the bounty hunter!
How many times do I have to tell people I'm a freelance peacekeeping agent? Maybe next time I should consider the mission before my ego, yes?
Oh,
Get out of there, boss!
Quick as a flash, the Meep made a break for it and tossed its radium core into the unexpected hand of the Henchman, who took off equally as quickly. We began our pursuit, dodging left and right and through the maze made up of the Meep's trophies, trinkets, and merchandise. No matter how hard we tried, we just couldn't keep up. The Meep was small and agile, and my circuits were well at your service.
You'll never catch me! Soon enough, the universe will belong to me! The Most High Me!
Clearly ain't got a catch like this.
You have a better plan?
Actually, yeah.
Frobisher laid out his plan. In truth, it was brilliant, but I wasn't going to tell him that. We immediately set to work, with him going left and myself heading right, both heading to cut the target off at the entrance to the warehouse.
Hurry, boss! Come on!
Don't you think I'm trying? Get the vehicle ready to go! Wait! Don't listen to it! That's the imposter! Stun it before it escapes!
Yes, boss.
No! That's the imposter! Stun it! What are you waiting for? Use your staser! Stun the imposter!
I appeared from around the corner, not far behind the two Meeps. It was imperative that this part of the plan go as smoothly as possible.
Stun the imposter!
Don't look at me, I'm as confused as you are. That wasn't a lie, yes? In truth, I was finding it difficult to differentiate between the true Meep and Frobisher, too. The bird really was proving his skills as an impersonator.
Do you really think I'd let myself get outpaced by an imposter? Shoot it!
No, of course not, boss.
Do it! No!
The henchman, clearly scared of crossing what seemed to be his boss, fired his staser at the latter Meep, who promptly collapsed into a big pile of fluff on the ground. The other Meep suddenly gained a smug expression, and its features began to morph into that of a penguin's.
Gotcha, pal.
The henchman, clearly overwhelmed, promptly followed suit and similarly collapsed onto the ground. I moved forwards and cuffed the Meep, still mostly out for the count. The Meep was ours. So, what now?
What do you mean, what now?
I mean, we've got our target. What do we do now?
Did you not read our mission brief?
I skimmed it. I had other pressing matters on my mind, yeah?
Unbelievable.
He withdrew a dial from under a set of feathers, similar to the one that I'd had delivered not long ago, and pressed down on a symbol. The dial began to glow gold. I knew then exactly what was coming and steeled myself against the sensation. We suddenly found ourselves back inside the Celestial Intervention Agency. Eliysus was stood in front of us at the podium, flanked by two guards in armor. As the Meep began to stir, they came forward and took it from my grasps.
Gentlemen, welcome back. I see you found each other and completed your mission successfully.
I was about to give Eliysus a piece of my mind when the Meep began to stir.
Hey, what's going on? Where am I?
Beep the Meep. You have been arrested by agents of the Celestial Intervention Agency on 392 different charges, the most recent being an attempt to alter the fabric of space and time. You'll be detained until your trial and your assets seized. The time destructor that you were constructing will be brought in by operatives and destroyed.
I'm sorry. I just got caught up in all this. I'm innocent, really. I'll be good. I promise.
Your tricks won't work in here, Beep. Guards, take it away.
No! My plan was perfect! The Time Destructor would have let me rule the universe! I'd be all-powerful if it wasn't for Bird Brain and the Tin Can! You'll all suffer for this! Just you wait! I'll tear you limb from limb!
That is one angry hairball.
You've got a lot to answer for, Eliysus. Setting us up together, sending us headfirst towards a time destructor with no warning.
Whilst I admit I did keep the partnership a secret, I did warn you about the weapon.
You fed us melodrama, not specifics. I think we're owed for that.
How can we repay you?
I'll take my standard rate plus expenses, but triple it. And get in touch with the doc for me. Let him know he's got a pal who he's due a catch-up with.
Of course. Death's Head?
You can pay off my apartment for a start, and match whatever you're paying the bird. I'll also take a TARDIS drop-off home, none of your usual transportation. And I'll need your word that you'll only call me in emergencies. I'm not coming all the way out here to rescue cats out of trees, right?
Done. You're both free to go. I'll arrange for an agent to drop you home, Death's Head.
He climbed down from his podium and disappeared. I turned to my associate. Well, despite first impressions, it's been nice to work with a professional.
Likewise, I hope we'll see more of each other in future. Tell the doc I said hi.
Don't push your luck, yes. It wasn't wrong, we'd definitely meet again. In fact, this job would mark the start of a whole new chapter of my life. But that's a story for another time, yes?
You have been listening to Death's Head, The Big Meep, starring Rhys Dell as Death's Head and Hamble Denfor, Jack Alexander as Frobisher, Oliver Ingram as the Henchman, with Philip Hawkins as Eliysus and Kelly Ulleanne as Beep the Meep. Written, directed and edited by Rhys Dell. Music by Anthony Tremaine. Produced by Dell Studios.